Well, hey, neighbor, it's me, Angie. Come on in. I'm in the dining room today. Yes, James is at work. And I decided that we're going to do our neighborhood chat inside. My goodness, it's 100 degrees outside. I would burn up. We would be so hot. So we're sitting around the dining table. A very good place to be. That means we can get our snack, our drink, gather around my table, and just have a talk. It's always good when you come over, and I'll welcome you. You know, go in there in the kitchen and make yourself at home. Get your drink, your snack. I'll surprise you. You just go in there and look and be surprised of the snacks that's in there. James went to the grocery store yesterday. And you know I have plenty to drink. Sweet tea, juice, coffee, bubbly, water, whatever you desire is in there. So just go in there and get what you want. I want you to, because I welcome you to my home, where you can always feel safe, welcome. You can feel, I hope you feel loved, because I want you to come in, and I never want someone to come to my home and feel like they wasn't received or I didn't want them to be here, because I want you to be here, because you're my neighbor. And I want us to get to know each other, share things, because my experiences can help you and your experiences can help me. That's what we do. It also talks about in my Christian faith that we provoke one another to do good deeds or good works. You know, provoke each other to do good. And that's what we want to do. We want to do things that bring joy to other people's lives. Happiness, light. You know, a lot of times, even as Christians, we'll find ourselves in a dark place. And when you're in a dark place, you can't see. But then you have someone to come along and they bring light to you. And the light shines on you and allows you to be able to see things maybe that you need to change in your life, things that you need to improve on, or even knowledge of things you didn't know. Because I have always loved to learn. I want to know things. I want to know how something works, what words mean, the meaning of different words. I don't want to just say words and not know the meaning of them, because you can get in trouble that way. And we don't want that. But you know how some people like numbers? Numbers make my head hurt. I do not like numbers, but I like words. You know, words are very powerful. You know, the little saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Pooey. Words are awful. They could kill someone. They can literally kill someone's inner being, their spirit, their soul, their mind, just by words. So words are powerful. So you have to be really careful when you're speaking to someone, because you could really, really hurt them badly. And I'm sure we've all done that. Because if we've lived long enough, we've been in a disagreement with somebody, somewhere. We may have even been in a disagreement with ourselves. You know, talking negative to ourselves about us. You know, We might not think we're worth anything. We may not think we're pretty enough. We may not think we're smart enough. And we're just all the time just negative, negative, negative. Now, where do you think that gets you? Words can make you feel joyful, happy, and words can make you feel sad and angry and mad. You know, our English language, with all the words that we have, there's a lot of words that really do not ever need to come out of our mouth and really should never even be in the dictionary. But they are. And most of us know what they are. And what gives a word value is, or power, is the tone in which you use the word. You know, I'm under the belief you can say anything you want to say. It's just how you say it. Because the tone of what you say can be the difference between night and day when you want to convey something to someone. Now, you can be reading words from a book and they may be words that are not appropriate, but there's no ill intent behind what you're reading. You're just reading words. But you could take those same words and use them towards someone, and it would hurt them really, really bad. You know, I could use a ugly word right now, and I could start quoting ugly words. And when I say ugly words, I mean curse words. And I could start just saying, in reference to these 5 curse words, and I could say them. And to me, I would just be saying the word. You know, just not actually meaning anything by it. But then I could turn around, be in a disagreement with somebody, say those same 5 words, and it could destroy somebody's life. So it's how you use your words. You know, have you ever thought about, what's my tone when I speak to somebody? How do I greet someone? Am I a good greeter? Am I very loving toward people when I answer their questions, when they ask me a question? And I can give you a little hint. If somebody ever asks you a question that you just really don't want to answer, you know, because some people are not afraid to ask you anything. They'll ask you stuff that your parents probably would never ask you. They're just brave that way. So if anybody ever asks you a question and you don't want to answer it, you just look at them and say, why do you want to know that? That way, you're asking them a question that they have to answer, and you put the ball back in their court. Because just because somebody asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer it. Because your business is your business. And I normally will not ask anybody their private business. If they want to talk to me about it, I'll listen. But I won't inquire about much of your private business. Now, I may ask you, how are you doing? If I know you went to a doctor's appointment, I may ask you, how did it turn out? And if you say fine, I have to go with that. I'm not going to dig deeper and say, well, what'd you go for? And then once you feel like you're obligated to answer that question, then they may say, well, what'd they say about that? And you still don't feel comfortable answering that question, all you have to do is just say, why do you want to know? I mean, because is the person asking because they genuinely care? Or are they asking because they're just nosy and they want to know? So they can go over and talk to somebody else about it. Oh, yes. I spoke to It's Me, Angie, and she told me this, this, and this. And here we go. And by the time it gets to the fifth person down the line, the story has completely changed. So, when you start to ask people questions, think to yourself, would I want anybody to ask me that? Now, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. I'm trying to think of something that I really would not answer if somebody asked me. And I can't think of anything right now that I would not answer in one way or another. But if that happens and you ask someone a question and they don't really want to answer it, maybe it's not because they have a lot to hide. Maybe it's because they're just really a private person. Now, some women, and I know this was years ago, and it might happen today, they don't really want to talk about their age. Me, I've never cared that if anybody knew how old that I am or how old I'm going to be. That's never bothered me. Age has never bothered me. I've never been this heavy, so weight, I would tell you how much I weighed, but you can look at me and tell that I'm heavy, and you can look and tell that I'm over 40. So why would I care if you knew the exact number or to both of those questions? But then again, why would that person even ask? Why does it matter to that person how old you are and how much you weigh? And I mean, why? Why would anybody want to know that unless you were a doctor, a general practitioner, or some kind of MD? But you know, some people don't even think before they ask a question. They don't think, is this really going to upset this person if I ask this question? And sometimes we just need to stop and think about that. Now, everybody's not like me because I don't really mind if people ask me questions because I'll answer them to the best of my ability. It may not be the answer you want to hear or you think that I'm going to say, but I will try to answer it. But if you have those people that don't want to answer something as small as, well, how old are you? You know, the saying used to be, you don't ask a woman how old she is. Personally, I've never understood that. But some people don't like that. And that's their prerogative not to like somebody to ask them what their age is, how much they weigh. I mean, that's just, some women do not like it. So don't do that. That's not necessary for other women to know other women's age. That's not necessary. Especially not necessary when you first meet somebody, because, you know, a lot of times when people first meet, you have a person that asks questions, and it's some questions that I would not even ask people that I have been friends with for my entire life. But they do it. They absolutely do it. Be careful about what you ask. Also, let's get back to words. You have words, positive words, inspiring words, uplifting words, words that make you smile, make you laugh, bring joy to your life. Then you have words that make you feel about this tall. You know, some people may talk about the way you speak, not speaking properly, not being able to put a complete sentence together properly. Because it may sound like that you're not well educated. And here's the thing with me. your education has nothing to do with me. That's on you. The way you speak to me, as far as me thinking whether you're educated or not, that doesn't cross my mind. Now, you come in to my space yelling and hollering and being ugly, yeah, that's going to get my attention. That will. And some people that have a fine education, that probably even majored in English, can say some of the nastiest stuff you have ever heard in your life. So be careful about what comes out of your mouth, because the little thing that we have in there that causes us to be able to speak, our tongue, that little small thing, it can destroy lives. Yeah. It can destroy people, even by going around talking about somebody behind their back and then them finding out. Be careful what you're saying about someone, even if you know it to be true. Even if you know what you're saying is true, and it's negative, and it's not uplifting, and it's downing the person, and you know for sure that this person did the offense that you are saying they did, it doesn't give you a right to talk about it. It doesn't give you the right to make that person look even worse, because unless you're in the situation, you don't know why the situation happened. You know, that goes back to what we say, there's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. So, no matter how flat you make a pancake, it still has two sides. Be careful and not take sides when there's two people having a disagreement. And then also be careful of the one that wants you to take a side and says, oh no, you've got to be on my side or I'm not going to speak to you anymore. Wait a minute. You're in an argument with someone else, and because I won't get involved and say, okay, you were absolutely right, this other person was wrong, I'm not going to like this person over here because you're upset with them, you're going to be mad at me? Oh, no. That's not even reasonable. That's control, but it's not reasonable. Now, if one of my close friends was treated very ugly by someone, and I would want that friend to trust me enough to know that I would take up for them if I was in a situation and I heard someone talking badly about them. Let's just take, for instance, my cousin Lynn, who's like a sister to me. If someone was in my area discussing her in a negative way, and I overheard it, I would quickly nip that. I wouldn't have to scream or holler or, get up in the person's face. I would just let them know, don't do that. Do not talk, don't talk about her, because they would probably not know the entire story. And I'm not going to allow anyone to talk negative about her in front of me. I'm just not going to allow it. Now, you have some people that would take the situation and jump in with the other person and go, yes, I know what you're talking about. And just start talking to the other person about the person you've been close to all your life. Instead of defending that person, they'll just jump right in and start talking negative about you too. Say someone knows me and we're supposed to be like this, and you're supposed to have my back. Or you're supposed to, defend me when somebody's really talking ugly about me. But you don't, and you start talking to that person about me too. What does that say about you? Let's be careful and be a true friend. You can say it nicely. Look, she's like a sister to me, and I'm not going to discuss that with you, and I really don't want you to discuss this in front of me. And if I'm going to continue to be here and be around this group of women, y'all can't discuss her. Because if y'all going to do that, I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to get in there and join in with them, whether I know it's true or not. I'm not going to do that. That's what friendship is. Friendship is there when you're not together and you have each other's back. You're not going to let anybody talk about somebody that you really love and care about. And definitely, you're not going to join in with them. So remember, be a good friend. Always know or allow your friends to know that they don't have anything to worry about. You're going to be there for them. And then, you don't have to go back and tell your friend, guess who was talking about you? Yeah, I was in a group of women, and they started talking about you. And girl, I defended you. Your friend don't have to know that. You don't have to go back and tell your friend anything that happened. They don't ever even have to know it. Unless it comes up and she needs to know it. They don't have, they don't have to know it. Because that would just keep the drama going. If I heard someone talking about Lynn, and I defended her, and then I run back over there to her and say, girl, do you know who was just talking about you? And I tell her, then that's going to enrage her. Then she's going to go back and tell them that I told that they were discussing her. And it's just going to keep the drama going. So I would just weigh it out and see if it was worth going back and telling my friend that other people were talking about her. You got to weigh it out. So today our neighborhood chat's been about how good of a friend are you? Do you know what it really means to be a friend? Make sure that you know the meaning of that word, and that you're truly not only needing friendship, but you are a friend. That person is a friend to you and would do anything for you. But make sure you feel the same way about them. And you're a good friend. Don't ever allow someone to talk about one of your friends, especially when that friend is not around to defend themselves. And remember, friend, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if somebody comes to me and they want to discuss you, I can't think of a time that I have fallen for that trap in the last several years. I'll listen to anything anybody has to say, but I'm not going to join in because you and that person's had a disagreement, and I just start spilling my guts about, oh yeah, did you hear she did this, this, and this? Did you know she did this? And when we were younger, she did this. And just start telling her history. But a lot of people just love it. They just love it. Not me. I always like knowing something that nobody else knows. I can find out stuff, and my daughter or James will come to me and say, guess what happened? And they'll tell me, and I'll say, oh, I already knew that. I already knew that happened. What? You knew it and you didn't tell us? Why? Why am I going to run back and tell them when it's not my story to tell? It's not my story to tell what happens to you. It's your story to tell. So be careful about gossip and talking about people that are supposed to be your friend. Good Lord, what if they'll talk about you and you're supposed to be their friend, what do they say about their enemies? I don't know about this world. It seems like right has turned into wrong and wrong has turned into right. It's like it's just turned upside down. Not me. I'm firm in what I believe. I feel fine in that area. And I feel fine that anybody could come to me and share anything they wanted to with me. And I know myself well enough to know I'm not going to tell what they share with me. Because when you do that, people lose trust in you. And then they'll never tell you anything else. And I don't want that. I want people to respect me and know that I have integrity. Those things mean a lot to me, and they should mean a lot to you. But until we meet again, friend, like, share, subscribe. Oh yeah, ring that bell so you'll know the next time I'm coming to you with a video. And don't forget, my daughter is having a baby. And you can guess whether it's a boy or a girl. And I'm going to put you in a jar if you say boy. Or if you say girl, it's going to go in this jar. And then when they have the reveal party, if it's a girl, I'm going to reach in the girl jar and pull a name. And somebody's going to win a prize. All right. Remember, give me one of these. Leave a comment. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Bye, neighbor.